Well, welcome. I am Victor Guadarrama, and I'm going to go over how operators use live events to generate deals and capital. So this is real estate week. This is AI week. This is all the tech week. I am a master of events, and I love doing events all around the country, even around the world now, which has been pretty cool. And so this specific session is going to be talking about real estate and tech people. How can you create your own live event to really benefit your company and your message, to grow your company, right? That's the most important thing, especially of generate deals and capital, right? We all need deals, right? Real estate people, where you at? Who's in real estate? I would say almost all of them. Who's in tech, founder, AI, all that? We got a couple in there, in here. Perfect. Well, this week is all about both of them, right? And so I really wanted to recreate, because I had something already that I did last year here in San Francisco, actually, but I wanted to bring a new perspective, especially targeting you, both industries. So I'm super excited to do so. For those that do not know me, I know a lot of people, or some of you already know me, but I am Victor. I've been doing it now for 12 years of live events. I've coordinated and assisted over 1,000 events, which has been a crazy, cool career and journey. I worked for Venetian, and I was part of the opening team at Resorts World in Las Vegas. So I've definitely have been all over. I had all the hats. I've worn all the hats in live events, which has been pretty cool. Met some cool people like Ryan Serhant and Jesse Itzler, and excuse me. And it's just been a really cool journey, and I'm continuing to do what I do and what I love, which is live events, which at this point I should be in real estate, because I know so many people in real estate. I don't know why I'm not doing it, but if you don't like it, I love it, but it's just, I need to get into it for sure, because real estate, you got to build your wealth. But for now, I do live events, and I help other entrepreneurs, investors, realtors. I've worked with so many different types of real estate in general. That's kind of my biggest portfolio, but kind of wanting to help the tech founders and the AI and all that fun industry that's coming alive now. So most events don't fail from attendance, they fail from the lack of outcomes. So outcome is going to be the big kind of theme of my speech. A lot of people throw on events, which is pretty cool, but what outcome do you want? Do you want leads? Do you want partnerships? Do you want funding, right? Be very specific on what outcome you want from a live event, and then we're going to work backwards on that. So you already probably, who here has done events before or hosted events? Okay, I would say half of you. So you already kind of hosted an event, you build the rooms, but there is no pipeline, no deals, no ROI. I am really big on tracking everything, right? Data is rich, especially now with AI. You could just upload your data and it spits you out what you need to do to better your events, to better your business, to better anything. So data is really still rich. And so having to really capitalize on what to do better and how to grow in your business is all about data, and in events is no different. So a shift I want you guys to take away here is that make live events as part of your business. It's a business as well. So if you are going to incorporate live events into your company, treat it as your business. It's going to take a lot of work, but for those that have done it, make a lot of money. I have clients that do a 3-day seminar and they go home with $500,000. Like, I've been in the business. I have a lot of clients that do the high ticket offer event type, but you can still get a good ROI in these smaller events and the mixers and on the smaller scale. It really depends on what outcome you want, right? Again, that's going to be the theme of this talk, is what outcome do you want? I have clients that just want leads. I want clients that actually want funding, right? Like, hey, I got this deal. Like, all the funding people come in this room and let's talk about this deal live, and then who could jump on it. So really be very specific on your outcome. So you're putting on this effort but not getting leverage. So why do events at all, right? There's so many different vehicles that you could use in your company. The marketing, you could do ads, you could do so many different things, right? But events do 3 things, which is compress time. So in the next hour and a half, you're with me. Hello, ask any questions you may have. You could compress trust. So instead of you looking at me on Instagram like this guy just does whatever he wants every week and just goes travel, like you're here with me, and trust kind of breaks that down a little bit. It's easier to build trust live. That's what I'm trying to get at, is really the live environment is still rich where people make those connections, make that relationships. And so it's easier for you to just ask me a question live rather than on a webinar and you're fighting over, go on mute, don't go on mute. I'm not a big fan of webinars, but so live events, that's what it does. And then attention. You can get a group of people in here to really talk about what you're doing, what you want to work on. I asked you guys to turn around and connect and see. A lot of people are scared to say like what you need help in your business, right? But that's like the one thing that like is maybe holding you back to get to that next level. So don't be afraid to really tell people what you need help on, because that might be the person that could take you up to that next level. So really be intentional, so you get people's time, trust, and attention all at once. So that's why I believe live events is really powerful. So what takes months online, again, happens in hours in a room. Events are the fastest way to build authority, create relationships, and unlock opportunities. And for those that have already done live events, you've kind of seen that taste of it, a little of it, right? You've created these relationships, maybe some opportunities opened, and you started collaborating, JVing, all that fun stuff. So really, events is the place to be. So events are not marketing, they're infrastructure, meaning what kind of events should I host should not be your first question when you're deciding if you want to do a live event. It should be, what outcome do I want? Because you're going to work backwards, right? So if you want leads, a mixer will probably be the best. I wouldn't say the best because there's so many different event types, but maybe it'd be a networking mixer will be easier to get leads that way, right? They come, they get to meet you, they get to kind of network with other people. I think I used this example last time I was here. It's like, if you like to golf, if you golf on Saturday, like make that at your event. Like you're already golfing on a Saturday, why not create it as an event? If you have a different activity, or you're at a nonprofit, um, create it as your event, right? Or be a partnership or a collaborative. Think outside the box on different ways on how you could do those live events. And it doesn't have to necessarily be a seminar, sitting here listening to me. It could be whatever you're doing already, because you're going to attract those people that you want to work with already. So again, what outcome do I want? So for example, the golf example, if you like to golf, like bring in, maybe you have some people already on the pipeline that have been leads for a while, sitting there, kind of like sitting ducks. Invite them to go play golf. What great opportunity to like do an 18 holes with them to talk more about your business and how we could collaborate. Does that make sense? Everyone get that? Like really be very creative on that aspect. So before your event, deals, capital, clients, partnerships, choose one primary outcome. So that just to get started, choose one. What do you want? Do you want deals? You need capital? You need clients? You need partnerships? Choose that one outcome and then work backwards on what event best suits that. So in this speech, I'm not going to go too much on like design, which is all the fun stuff for me, but the design and like how to do events and what's all the contract terms, all the fun stuff that I like. But this is really just to really open your eyes on how live events can really maybe help you and grow in your business, your profession, your realtor, connect with more people, right? There's so many things. If the outcome isn't clear, then the event won't convert. And that's just clear. If you don't even know what outcome you want, you're just gonna be throwing events for fun. So your event is not the product. And that's something that like, it's really hard for people to grasp. Like, yes, you're putting the time, energy, and money into an event, but that's not the product you're selling. It is the platform. So it's the vehicle of your business. It's part of it, right? Because you can still be running ads, you can still be doing other things, but an event becomes a vehicle in your business. So treat it like a business. So the shift here is most people host events, one-offs, right? No strategy, no ROIs. That's how people get turned off really quickly with events, because it could get a little expensive if you don't have a strategy behind it. So that's when people stop doing live events. But with these one-offs, not having a strategy, not having an ROI, you're just throwing parties, which again, that's cool. But maybe you could be a promoter in Vegas. They all need promoters out there. So stop throwing parties, and that's kind of probably going to be my new tagline. Stop throwing parties. Do have a strategy behind it, have a CRM behind it. Again, treating it like a business. Like all of you, I'll be following up with you guys after this event. And I'm going to talk about it in a second on how the real outcome you want is after the event. It's not during the event. During the event, it's just like the taste of it. Like you connect, you kind of ask questions, you answer the questions, but your real outcome, you're going to get it after the event. So stop throwing parties. I'm going to put that on a t-shirt. So treat it like a platform, a system, a business unit. And that's something that a lot of people don't have time, right? So if you're here at the 1 o'clock with GenSpark, with Corey, that is a great tool, right? To even tackle half of all these things that you need to do in an event. If you need content be done, GenSpark did, like, I would say 75% of what the digital signs are all GenSpark or AI. The website was AI. So really leverage AI to really help you build a system for your event, but don't go into doing an event without some sort of strategy or what outcome you want. Any questions so far? And I'm just like zooming through. Am I scaring you guys? You're like, F events. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so instead of doing a project thinking, so doing one-off events, really think about it as the platform thinking, which is building momentum, and that is with a CRM. So all of you guys will be in my CRM now, right? And so just like any other opportunity you guys have in real estate and tech, you're gonna move them throughout the customer journey map, right? It could be a lost cause, that's fine. We could regroup next year, right? It's all about the follow-up, and everyone knows that in real estate, mostly, and probably even the tech world. It's always about the follow-up, even if it's 2 months out, 5 months out, 6 months out. You might not be ready to do an event now, but maybe next year you are, and I'm there. I'll be there, right? So really, really the momentum is building the strategy and the system. So you don't have to start with ground zero every event. Like, oh, how am I going to fill my event up, right? Every time it's just like that's the worry. And I'm going to show you in a second that the smaller of the event is actually the more outcome you're going to get, because you're able to connect with people one-on-one more rather than a larger event. So don't be scared of smaller events, right? So again, instead of starting from scratch every event, start building a system, and that will create that momentum. So what does your event consistently produce? For real estate, maybe deal flows, capital access. Like I mentioned, one of my current clients, he's in San Diego, that's where I live, and the only thing he wants is leads, like accredited investors. So we throw a monthly meetup, either like by the beach or like in downtown type of thing, and he makes a monthly investment of $1,000. That's his budget. And there is food, there's like a drink ticket. So it just like brings people in. So right now, that's all he wants is still, he's been doing it for a while now. It's just accredited investors, because that's what he needs now still for his business. It's a capital group, so that makes more sense. So what are you bringing and doing at your event that it's going to be continuously producing your outcome? For tech, maybe you need to hire some engineers, investor access, partnerships. I know that's really, really important. And so what is your outcome? Again, that's what it is. And if you are writing notes, or if not, I would write this formula. I really, really, really like this formula. It's how do you get the revenue or your ROI or your outcome. You could replace it with so many different things where it says revenue, but the right people, the structured experiences, and clear outcomes. So I'm going to get out of the way. But your best ROI is having the right people in the room, structured experience, and clear outcomes. And I'm going to break that down in a second. So you're not hosting an event, you're designing an outcome, right? Environment. So for someone that needs capital, you're probably going to be talking about capital and how we could connect each other. If you have a deal and you need capital, right, you're going to put it up on the screen. So really be very intentional on how you're designing your events, for that you could get your outcome, but also people that are attending could also get their outcome as well. So it's about the event, into relationships, into opportunities, and into revenue. And you guys know that journey map in all your businesses. So different event types that you could probably do is meetups like these, workshops, masterminds, retreats, if you want to get into that higher level kind of rooms, you could make money doing events, even if you're still running your own business, which I have a lot of clients do. They're branching into events because now, I know you guys don't like to hear this, but the world of AI, I'm just kidding. A lot of people are really gravitating towards real life, analog, like person to person experience, and we're kind of like swinging back to that real person, talking to a real person, basically. So maybe in your company, you want to do these workshops and then lead them into a mastermind, into a retreat, and yeah, we could coordinate that and strategize on what that looks like. But start small and then scale later. I always say I'm still working on how to do my meetups. Um, and I'll go in a second on how to avoid this. But I did one in Vegas, and the big one is like the caption said meetup for events, and I got nothing but like wedding planners in my meetups. I'm like, what? What? Like, so really be. So what I'm trying to say is like content and the copy is very, very important, but start small, and then you could always revise your events to make them better and bigger. So that is that. I created the Event Edge framework, and we won't dive into this much, but I wanted to, if you're thinking about doing a live event, I kind of go over these 5 different areas to start implementing your event. So it's the vision. What is your vision? Your outcome. What outcome do you want? Your design. So this is the fun stuff. So how do you want your event to be? It's a blank canvas. So you guys could do anything and anything because you guys putting your time, energy, and money into it. So if you want to go golfing, go golfing. If you want to do art and wine and talk about real estate, that's pretty cool. Someone steal that. No? All right. You could do that. So what are your interests and how can you put an event behind that so it doesn't become boring, right? I come from the seminar and conferences background. So this is actually for me fun. I like the banners. I like this is cool for me, but for others, it might be something different. Maybe I have a client that does karaoke night. Why not? Right? I'm not a singer, but so what do you like to do and design that? You're going to gravitate your audience, and that's important, right? You don't want to work with people that you don't want to work with. Like it's your business. That's why you are all entrepreneurs, is that you could pick and choose who you want to work with. So your audience, and then monetize either through ticket sales, through an offer, whatever that looks like, and then scale after that. So the why, experience, the who, the money, and then the growth. So most value is created after the event, and that's something that I spoke about a little bit previously. Is you're not going to make the money up front unless you do like ticket sales, and there's different strategies I could go into. But after the event is really where you're going to get that most outcome because you're going to get a list right now with all the registered people, and the secret sauce is this. Oh, I'm skipping ahead of myself, but I'll go over in a second on how you could really pre-qualify people before even people getting to your event, and really get to know and do some research on them to know like where they're at, who are they, how can we collaborate. So you're even planning this way ahead before your event even starts. And so after the event, it's going to be a lot easier, or during the event, it's going to be easier because you know what to talk to them about if you have specific questions. And then after the event, it's going to be even more easier to connect or create a relationship. So how does the host win? So there's 4 levers that you guys could pull when doing your own live event. So control the room, control introductions, control follow-ups, stay at the center. In a lot of life, you're an introvert like myself. I'm like shy, I'm like in the corner. It really, and that's something that I'm growing as a person and stepping out of my comfort zone and speaking in front of people. But stay in the center. Like when you guys think about live events, like, oh, I met Victor. He's a kind of all right dude, cool dude. Whenever you want to start your live events, right? People, I think someone mentioned it before, is like the attention, right? It's all about the intention. Like who do we know? Who's capturing your intention to get the business, basically. And so by you putting on your own live events, you could control the room on how it's designed, control the introductions, so you guys introduce each other, control follow-ups as well, which is going to be important after the event, and then stay at the center, which is the big one. So control the room, so that is leverage, right? Like you get to ask This is where I was going with. Ask questions in your RSV landing page. When you guys registered, you guys I only had one question because I wanted to be generic for this week. But I typically have like 4 or 5 questions. And my question was, have you guys done a live event? And like the 25 that registered, I would say about 90% said yes. They have done a live event. So you could pre-qualify people even before they even step into your event. In my other events, I asked your company name. I asked how many events have you done? Do you have a high ticket offer or any offer? So then I could really structure the content and the event to really talk to them, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? Yeah. So this is really, really, really like a good like golden nugget right here is if when you're doing your landing pages for your events, ask those questions. What do you want to know about them? Right? Because what outcome are you trying to get out of? So you can know what to ask them and how they can help you, or vice versa. A lot of people get really like get the ick, I would say, in those Gen Z terms, on putting who this is not for in the landing page. This is actually really important because you don't want the wrong people in your room, right? Because you're wasting your time, energy, and money. So don't be afraid to put this is not for you if you're in this category. Everyone in events are like, we want more people in it. We want more people. People are great, but you don't want the wrong people because you're just going to go down a rabbit hole that it's not even going to be worth the outcome that you want, right? So in your landing page, it's really, really important. Put who this is not for, which is really, really important. Control the intro, who meets who, the value, and then connects after. So the pipeline, right? The follow-up. So the follow-up is the big, big, big component in live events, and which is a lot of people that hate to do. And the cool thing that I learned about GenSpark at 1 o'clock was the workflows. I could literally just upload who actually attended, right? The data, like registered versus who attended, and just do a workflow, have people get emailed, maybe set up an appointment to get on the calendar, right? Use AI to really do this part of it because that's where everyone hates is the follow-up. And so even if you think it is a warm lead, obviously do it like right away. But if it is a larger room, like if this was filled 200 people, and then I would just put it on AI, like who should I follow up first? Like what company, who does events already, right? AI could tell you everything now, which is crazy. So follow-up is going to be the big key component where it takes you to stop doing parties at events where you're actually getting an ROI and the outcome that you're wanting to get. And then stay at the center always. All value flows through you. So if you are going to become doing your own events and your own branding, people start recognizing you, people start thinking about you more. So always stay in the center for people to start. You can start being the connector as well, which is important. So the result, you become the hub, the connector, the opportunity source, which is important. And a lot of people say, well, Victor, here in the Bay Area, there's a lot of events already, right? There's a lot of mixers. There's a lot of networking events. There's one, like, I would say like 100 a night. Like Corey's at one every day. Like, what are you doing tonight? Oh, I'm going somewhere. I'm like, all right. So I know there's always a lot of events going on, but I'm sure they're not doing all the things that I just went over. They're just having parties, which is great. You could go connect with people. But most importantly, you're going to put your own brand, your own spin. You're going to connect with the people that you're going to attract to, which is important, right? So that's what I love about events is I'm connecting with the people that feel like we're on the same wavelength and want to get to that next level. So there's 3 mechanisms that you could do at your events. One is direct matching. So if I would say like, who has a live deal today? Raise your hand. Anyone have a live deal? Real estate? No deals? All right. So we need people that have deals in here. Gotcha. Who has money? Who got, some funding? Here you go. Anybody needs funding? I guess we all do. There you go. Let's talk. Y'all talk. So that's direct matching. That's something you could do during your event is just bluntly say, ask who needs money, who needs this, who needs that. Again, for those introverts like me, I don't talk to people. It's hard for me to talk to people. And so by just doing it for them, it makes it easier to go connect with that person. So signal surfacing, follow-up system. I think I have slides on the, yeah, so who has deals, who has capitals. So for signal make value visible, here's what I need and offer. And that's what I made you guys do in the very beginning of before I started talking. Like, what do you guys need help in your own business? Again, the person that you might be talking to might be not the one, or maybe they might be. But who do they know someone and they could get referred out? So really make it easy for people to really talk about them, to give them an opportunity. I know it's your outcome, but it's also their outcome. They're spending time and they came all the way to downtown to be here with you. So have an opportunity for them to talk as well and be part of the conversation. And then post-event, it's within 48 hours, send intros, suggest next steps, right? So again, post-event is gonna be the very critical point and what makes you different from any other event. If who gone to an event and then like that's it, after 9 p.m., you don't hear from them. Anyone? You guys all hear from them? Damn, they got good follow-ups. Right, we all go to events and then I don't hear from them ever again until they have another event, another party, right? So don't make that be a custom where you're just like asking them come to your next party. Like take them in your journey in your own company, right? How can you continue be in front and be like the center person even if you don't have an event? So that could go through email campaign. It could be, some people are trying to do podcasting, like invite them to your podcast. Like what are the different things you're doing in your business that you could start inviting them? And then when you have another event, it's a little bit more fluid. It's a little bit more like invitational rather than, hey, come down again and like, let's talk again. But why are we talking every month? Like, what are we actually doing and practicing and putting into place to make actual, like your ROI and your outcome come true? And, I'm a little harsh, a little bit, I don't know if I could be a good therapist, but it's just, time is so limited. And this is just me going on a tangent, but time is so limited. And I just feel like just ask what you want, follow up, be a good person to connect with, right? There's always going to be bad people and people that want stuff from you and all that fun stuff, or not fun stuff at all. But just be a good person, be a connector, be intentional, be authentic on your events and what you need. And your events are going to skyrocket and you're going to connect with the right people. So each event builds relationship, trust, opportunities. It stacks, right? Your first event might be a bust. Maybe not. It might be a great success. But just know, like, after each event, you're going to stack after stack and just stack more leads, stack more opportunities, and move them through your customer journey in your CRM, right? So not one event is going to make your whole event or your business $1 million business, right? Doing live events also takes works, just like your business and what you do. So I'm going to do another sharing opportunity. You go in the same groups or not, or mix it up. But what do I want in the room? What outcome do I want, and what happens after? So we're talking about your event. So if you're going to put on an event next month, what do I want in the room? So your outcome. What do I want in the room? Meaning design. I'm sorry. That's your design. What outcome do I want? And then what happens after? So what system are you going to put into place? Is it your VA calling everybody? Is it putting into AI bot? What it is? So does everyone have questions on this? So what design or what type of event do you want? Do you want a mixer? Do you want a golf session? Do you want all these different things? And then what outcome do you want or need to make your company or your business to the next level? So we're going to do 5 minutes of just sharing. If you guys want to turn around, I'll just be walking around if you guys have any questions. But this is event specific. So if you're going to throw on an event next month, what design of the room do you want? What outcome do I want? And what happens after? What system or strategy are you going to put into place? All right, ready, set, go. Well, all right, so small rooms equal real results. Again, don't try to like do Tony Robbins with the whole arenas. I mean, if you can, right? We all want to get there. I want to get there, but don't be scared of the small room. So I just talked about my first workshop. Look, there's a little Corey right there with his hair. Just kidding. So this workshop was my first one last year in Las Vegas, again, as an event coordinator for 12 years. Um, it, I told myself I wanted to grow as a person and be kind of more of a speaker role. So not a lot of event coordinators, throw on their own events. So I kind of wanted to break that mold. But with this just event, like I was able to sell an offer and almost be at 10K in 2 days. So again, a different industry, and you guys are in different industries, but don't be afraid of smaller rooms because I was able to sell my offer and almost get 10K. I was shy, like $500, but with ticket sales and all that fun stuff. So small groups really, really work. And so I took them in a 6-month coaching program and all that fun stuff. So it's all about the strategy, not the size of the event. A lot of people get hung up on that, which again, I connected with all of you more than I would if 20 or 40 more people would have been here. Does that make sense? So what if, wrapping up here, what if you actually did this, right? Your event, you're predictable, like deal flow, consistent capital access, ongoing opportunities. Again, this will happen if you have a strategy and system behind it. So start taking action now, start small, stay consistent. Consistency, just like anything else, is going to be the big thing for you, and then improve each event. So what worked, what didn't, get feedback from people here. I would love feedback after of what I talked about, and just make it better every single event, right? And don't be afraid to change it, the layout or the format of it. So people will say, I don't have audience. I never done this. What if it flops? I always say start anyways, because if you don't start, then it's never going to happen, which is really, really important. So another thing that people that say that I don't have an audience, I think someone said it over here, like leverage other people's audiences. Like get someone that has an audience, and then people can start following you because you are the connector, you are the host. And so if you, by inviting speakers, then you're able to connect with their audience. So you could start from there as well. So I say start anyway. So your first event, maybe you just get leads. Maybe, it's harder to get systems and strategies and processes right in the very beginning. But for those that are going to do your first event, just take leads. That's your first outcome. Get new leads. Second event, maybe client, start creating those relationships, now get the flow going. And then third event, definitely start creating that system from the very beginning and start tracking your data. So your next level might be just one event away. So I've done a lot of high ticket level events, worked in hospitality a lot. I've seen how rooms convert. I work with clients right now that do high ticket offer, what is their outcome? That's the first thing I ask is like, what do you want the outcome to be out of your event? Because you're going to put your time, money, and energy into it. So I want to make sure that's being fulfilled. So I understand both the experience side as being in the hospitality world and then the revenue side. So if you guys would like, this is free. I just created a school group. So if you're interested, it's also in that brochure on your desk. You can scan it in there. But I'm trying to create just a platform to have entrepreneurs, experts, founders just in the school group to start talking to each other, to support each other for those that are thinking of creating live events. So this is a new concept. I literally just started it. So I'm wanting to really just start putting this out there more for we could get all in that same school group and start helping each other with events. So that either be you typing in, you have a question or you need an idea or you just want to like accountability, right? I'll be on there. Other people will be on there. So it's an ecosystem. I do have a course in there. I started my podcast. I have my 5th episode now. So I'm interviewing some really, really cool people in the event space, as well as those that do events for their business, community, live calls, challenges, and much more. So it is free to join. So feel free to scan it from the brochure. You can also follow me on Instagram, as well as book a discovery call if you would like to talk more further on how you want to start your live events and how I could help you start doing that, like helping you construct your events and strategy behind it. So fun fact, we have solidified dates for next year. They're both scared, but I made them do it. The reason why I wanted to put this up here is like, if you need a whole year to to start creating your event. You got a whole year now, and you want to be a host in the next year's Reforge SF Week. We solidified dates April 12th through the 15th, so you can scan the QR code. I'm going to leave that up there. And we have 11 events, right, this week, which is for the first year. I think that's amazing, and it's just going to get better. It's going to be blowing up like SF Week. So if you want to be part of it, either as a host, create your own event, partner, or a sponsor, there is an opportunity now. It is like a Google form, and you fill out that information, and then we'll start reaching out to you probably in a couple months. We're going to try to get ahead of the game and make 2027 even bigger and grow the brand for Cora and Brianna that have been working so hard. So again, I'm just going to leave this up as well. But yeah, that's all I have. Appreciate you guys being here. Hopefully you guys got some value out of it. I'll stick around. There is the next session in here at 7, right? It talks about some VCs, startups, and what else? Commercial brokers for those people in the commercial space. So definitely come back at 7 o'clock. I know Corey has his event at 6 at Strata. So definitely keep a lookout for the different events happening today, tomorrow as well, and for the rest of the week. But I appreciate y'all being here. My passion is events. So if you have any questions, I'll be sticking around. All right, thanks, y'all.